everyone, and welcome to another episode of I Hate It Here, where Sam and me spend, about an hour, an undetermined amount of time hating the world, so you don't have to. Well, it's been a while, but not as long as the last time we left it between gaps.
Yeah,
I feel bad actually turning the stream on because we're interrupting Vince watching Dust play disc golf. I kind of feel
that, like.
Yeah, I kind of feel like maybe we could have just let that one ride out and not stream today. Give the people what they want, which of course is obviously Dust discs. That's what the kids really want.
Discs.
Yeah, but dude, I got a ton of stuff. I mean, I don't like to make these political episodes because obviously people don't like that. This is just all ridiculous crime or just people being absolute morons. Deaths galore as well, by the way. This episode, right? It's just fucking wild.
Episode, like.
Oh yeah,
cheery one.
Yeah, just a cheery one. I've also been scripting one because we haven't done. You remember Your Fictitious Lives, a classic episode, with all the didn't happens in.
Yeah.
I've actually been getting all the didn't happens, like some bangers from last year, and we're gonna do a special.
Nice.
So you haven't done a didn't happen. I think people have forgotten that. For a period of time, we were doing catchphrase comedy.
Yeah,
Like Little Britain.
We were sending scripts in, mate.
Ooh.
You having a laugh?
Is he having a laugh?
He's having a laugh.
So,
That didn't happen.
So yeah, it didn't happen.
That
didn't
was the voice
happen.
I was going with. Like,
Everybody clapped. That didn't happen.
That didn't happen.
So look, I'm going to start the show. Start as we mean to go on. Obviously, people, whenever there's an incident involving a seagull now, people think of me.
Us, mate. Yeah,
Mm,
it always
yeah.
comes through the pit ticker, like.
And I'm still. I don't know if this is, because obviously a lot of people talk about cancel culture and all that, right? And what I'm worried about is in the future, if the powerful seagull lobby gets its way, am I going to get cancelled over these shows? And probably the answer to that is almost unquestionably yes, because I still stand by that we're letting seagulls run amok. We need to do something about them. They're getting worse. It's going to be a problem. If there was an apocalyptic scenario now where mankind was forced out of their homes and had to forage, seagulls would be a fucking problem, let alone if they mutate. Right?
Problem for me, mate. I'd be eating seagull for days. I'd be living off skulls, mate.
Mate, one swoop and a peck at your eye and suddenly it's a game changer.
For an average human, mate, but I'm trained against gulls. Like.
That is true. Like, you have been forged.
I have had that gull training.
Yeah, you have had proper crack gull training, like to deal with them. But for most people, I haven't had that.
Yeah,
and I'm just saying, let's get on top of it. Like, let's get on top of it now. Like, there's too many of them. The idea that seagulls are an endangered species still blows my mind. And you're never going to get me to take it back. And all the threats of cancellation, when they were saying, "Oh, Richard Lewis is going to host the Oscars 10 years from now," and then they dredge up this show. Oh. He said he thinks seagulls should be culled. And that's that. No Oscar hosting for me. But, I'm going to stand by it.
Most of the argument when it's talk about, like, theoretical, what happens if you remove this animal? You fuck up the whole ecosystem. Seagulls do fuck all but. Like, they've evolved far beyond what they're supposed to be doing. They're supposed to be, like, snipping a little fish at the top, taking, like, fucking leftover carcasses, like you know what I mean? Like a fucking vulture of the sky near the sea. These cunts just wait for humans. They're worthless, mate. What are we doing?
No, listen.
They've fallen out of nature, so it's our fault. We have fucked up the gulls so much that it now relies on us.
For sure.
But he's fucked. Like, he's gone. His head's gone. He don't know how to live without the humans now.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like, I think we're at a stage now where it's like, yeah, I can acknowledge mankind has made some mistakes, but it's not on the table to cull mankind, is it? So we're going to have to do the gulls. We can't coexist. It'll never be peaceful. Peace is not an option, Sam, as they say, as the kids say. So, we're going to have to do something about it. And
I'm all down. Instead, we don't have to, cull the gulls. What we could do, I'm down to, like, train the gulls how to be fucking seagulls again. Like, I'm sure outside of the UK and other places, there's seagulls who are living that
they're
seagull
addicted
life,
to
mate.
chips.
Yeah, I know, but somewhere
they're
in the
like
world,
Glaswegians like that. They're addicted
like
to
gulls.
chips, mate.
There's got to be some real seagulls left, mate. There's got to be some real seagulls. In the
I
world who are
don't
out
think
there
so. I think
grafting, like getting little fish carcasses, robbing from other birds. It's got to be gulls living it out there. Like,
It's too far gone, mate. I saw a video the other day. I can't even play it on Twitch because Twitch is crazy, especially now that they've got this special number that they assign to you in secret social credit score. I don't know if you saw this.
I saw that.
Your Twitch score. So we're fucked. We're never getting an ad on our platform ever again. They even put your age in. Isn't that?
Well, of the streamer.
Yeah.
I guess.
Bit weird.
Yeah, you don't really. That doesn't matter for like the age it's reaching, does it?
No, exactly. That's interesting, actually, because I bet there's a ton of streamers lie about their age. You know,
Yeah, probably.
you're gonna put the real one out there because you've got their ID, haven't you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but anyway, that's not where we're going with this. We're talking about seagulls for now. So,
Gull score.
yeah, the gold score. We got a very high gold score on this show. There's no doubt about that. But, you know, whenever there's a fucking incident involving a seagull, people send me a video. I got sent a video. It was a seagull had killed a pigeon. Remember, we were talking, we fucked up pigeons as well, to be fair to us.
Yeah, we did, like.
But I like pigeons.
Yeah, they're not as aggro. They don't take
No.
food from your hands, like. They'll take food from the floor. So fair game. Like,
Yeah.
if it's on the floor, fair game.
And it was a seagull had killed this pigeon, and then it's just pecking at it and eating it. And it laughs. It does a legit demonic cackle. Like, no joke. Like, ma. It's just loving it. It's just loving the fact it's just murdered another bird. It's like fuck these animals. It's outrageous.
Evil.
It's outrageous. And obviously, I just showed you that video before we went live. Just, you know, man just grabbing a seagull in mid-flight as it's trying to have a sneaky bite of his burger. They don't care anymore. But anyway, the point of this bit is, worst intro to an episode ever, was that whenever there's anything, even the word seagull, even if the seagull
it's on our radar,
isn't,
like.
yeah, and people don't realise I'm signed up to all the chat groups and all the newsletters. I'm signed up to seagull. Yeah, I'm signed up to seagullnews.co.uk. I'm there. I'm getting them all. So it's nice that you're interested and engaging in the show. But the first story I'm going to open with, I got sent it 100 times. And the people who sent it to me, all 100 of them, have missed the point. This isn't even really to do with a seagull. This is an indictment of Scottish people, not seagulls. So this was a story in Edinburgh, which is a woman bit off a man's tongue while they were having a fight and then spat it out onto the floor, and a seagull swooped down and fucked off with it.
Well, like I said, if it's on the floor, it's fair game. Like,
yeah.
if the seagull took the tongue out of your mouth, ring me up.
But that's what I meant. So it's like, listen, you've missed the point. Well, everyone was going, they were messaging me, Richard, the seagulls are at it again. No, the Scottish are at it again.
He's bit his tongue off.
yeah, like what's a seagull going to do? As far as it's concerned, it may as well be a chip. He don't know.
Yeah.
He don't know what's going on there. Yeah, exactly. And he goes, what can they do with it? A chunk of tongue anyway? I've found out the hard way when I've had bits off. They can't just put the bit back on as it was. It's all over.
Unless that tongue fell into a bucket of ice, like, and you were immediately in a taxi. Even then, it'd be 50-50, like.
Yeah.
Good luck sewing it back on once it's got fucking Edinburgh dirt on it, just rolling around in the alleyways, like.
Yeah, but just listen to this, right? James Mackenzie, good Scottish name, spat out a piece of his tongue onto the street after Bethany Ryan ripped it off with her teeth during an incident. I mean, that's a fucking incident. Is a fucking understatement. Yeah, that's way worse than an incident.
I'd at least call this a scene. Doing a scene in it.
Absolute scenes. The gull. I don't know how the seagull's even in this new story. Like, who cares?
He's just an innocent bystander, mate.
I never thought I'd be out here standing for a seagull, but like the media have done a hit piece on him here, Sam. It's outrageous. The gull then flew down and grabbed the mussel before making off before the injured man could retrieve it. Edinburgh Sheriff Court was told about the grisly incident, which has left the victim maimed for life when Ryan appeared in the dock to plead guilty to the attack last Thursday. And then, basically what she did is they were having an argument and she made out like, oh, I want to make up. Let's make up.
Let's have a kiss
then. Let's have a kiss. And she's gone, ah!
Fucking hell, man.
Full fucking done him like Bronson or something, mate. Like absolute
Rub my
madness,
wall
like.
paint on, like.
Yeah. It says here, the court was told the chunk of tongue bitten off was approximately 2 centimeters by 3 centimeters.
That's a good bit of tongue, like.
That is a bit of tongue.
That's a good bit of tongue.
The seagull failed to appear at court.
The seagull is now wanted.
He's a material witness.
Tongue in his lips.
But yeah, I just couldn't believe it. Like, not one person said, fucking hell, Scotland, fucking hell, Edinburgh, fucking hell, what a vicious assault. There was none of that. It was just fucking seagulls. Like, guys, I've indoctrinated you a bit too much here. Like, that's not the seagulls just trying to have a feed.
Yeah,
like, he's trying to get. Yeah, that's not the seagull's fault at all. Not unless the seagull was dating Bethany Ryan and
he caused it all. Like,
yeah, he was. That's what they were arguing about.
I've
seen you strutting around with him.
I've got your tongue, dickhead. As he flew away.
Yeah, but crazy story. Crazy story. What else was going on? We had another embarrassing incident in the UK. I don't know if you saw this. So there is a politician. He's actually trending on Twitter at the moment at the time of recording this. And people are saying that he needs to be fired. But anyway, this is Chris Whitty, who is, I say a politician. He's not. He's an advisor to. Yeah,
guy, like.
He's the chief medical advisor to the UK government, so that doesn't really make him a politician. But
he was in a lot of the coronavirus like briefings on TV. He's been in most of them, obviously.
Yeah,
chief medical officer. So
yeah,
probably seen him quite a lot.
So anyway, he was doing the rounds. This is like last month. He was doing the rounds and going to, talking in public, and a 15-year-old boy came up to him in public and just started abusing him and going, "What are you lying about TikTok? What are you lying about COVID for on the TV? I don't know why. Why are you lying about TikTok for, blood? He's done it. He stopped lying about my TikTok. No, but he recorded him on TikTok and uploaded it, and it's just him abusing him. And like he's just stood there going like, "Well, yeah, I'm not lying about COVID, but that's okay." And so this teenager was full wrecking him. And obviously, like Chris Whitty, he's took it well, to his credit. He hasn't, like, bit back or anything. And the video went viral, because that's what happens as well. You've seen them out there, right? Seen them out there, the viral videos. And basically, his mother found out, right? And so his mother took the ultimate punishment. For what happens when you abuse a medical advisor to the UK government. And that is she confiscated his PlayStation. He's been fully wrecked. Fully wrecked. I'll just read you the story. Headline from The Guardian: Mother of boy filmed verbally abusing Chris Whitty confiscates his PlayStation. What a world where this is in a fucking national paper, by the way. Woman says her son is, quote, actually quite intelligent, end quote.
Why are you lying, though? Why are you lying, though?
Despite making false claims about coronavirus. So anyway, as Whitty was buying lunch at a Mexican food stall in a street in central London, the 15-year-old boy was heard saying to Whitty, "You're a liar. You lie about the COVID-19 cases. Stop lying to the TV, man." The teenager, who has not been named, filmed himself making the false claims to Whitty and shared the video on TikTok. The video was later posted on Twitter by the Conservative MP Matt Vickers, who described the boy's behaviour as appalling. Now his mother 47, has joined in the condemnation and told the boy to record another TikTok apologizing to. Imagine if
I'm
your mum's
washing his
telling you,
hands.
oh man,
Record a TikTok of me washing your hands.
imagine if your
sorry.
mum is telling you to record an apology TikTok. Like, fuck this planet. That's actually depressed me to an
This is
unreasonable
modern
amount.
childhood,
Yeah.
mate. It's
You
like when you go to
will.
a fight
Yeah.
when you were younger. Go shake his hand. No, it's go
Yeah.
make an apology TikTok.
Yeah, go make an apology TikTok. Do I have to, mum? The Chinese are spying on me with it. So anyway, it quotes. She did an interview with the Daily Mail Online, which quotes her as saying, "I was horrified when I saw how rude my son was to Mr. Whitty. That is not how I have brought him up, and not the behaviour that I expect from him." She said she had punished the boy, saying, "I have taken away his PlayStation, which is the thing he loves the most."
Still got his phone, like he still
Yeah.
make TikToks, can he?
"I have not grounded him
So
because he is
Can't go
already
anywhere.
suffering enough with lockdown and he doesn't go out as much as he used to." Whitty was more forgiving. When asked about the incident, he said the young lad appeared to just be showing off.
he wanted the TikTok clout, didn't he? He thought this'll bang. Wow, this blew up. Wow, this blew up.
Yeah. Wow. Look at all the likes. Wow. Oh, phew. Check
Wow.
out my SoundCloud. Phew.
Wow.
Phew. Whitty added, "I didn't think anything of it, frankly. I was very surprised it was picked up by the media at all as anything of importance. I'm sure he'll become a model citizen in due course and hopefully more like Captain Tom." Dead now, of course.
Yeah.
This is an unfortunately dated piece. Or as the kids say, that aged well.
Yeah. That ain't right.
Captain Tom did age well.
He did it pretty fucking well. He got to
101 when he.
still walking.
Yeah. Anyway, in hopefully more like Captain Tom, who was alive at the time, guys. He's not saying, I hope he gets murked or whatever.
Yeah, hopefully he ends up like Captain Tom.
That's why I just want to make
That'd
it
be
clear. Like,
mental.
this is a few weeks old. That would be mad. Like, it would be mad if he just dropped that like the day Captain Tom had died or
I'm
something.
not even that arsed. I hope he just gets Captain Tom.
Yeah. Who was the kind of person who I think much more exemplifies the spirit of the UK. The boy's mother suggested her son's video was a sign of the impact on mental health of young people during the lockdown. She said he was trying to give a message across to Mr. Whitty and make him understand what he and other youngsters are going through, but I'm very upset and angry with him over how he did it. She ended the interview with, "He's actually quite an intelligent boy." Nice one, man.
Stop lying at the TV, you dick. Why are you just lying at the TV? I like when his brain, the way TV works is he talks into his TV and it comes out of yours. He's lying into the TV and it just bounces back out. Like some sort of fucking portal.
Yeah.
Straight into the TV.
Now, slightly less amusing, just to set this one up, is not a story from Nottingham. Mental. Like, people don't know this actually, because low key I've been down to Nottingham. It's a fucking moody place. Like, if anyone's ever been there, they know what I'm talking about. Like, all the other cities, everyone talks about Manchester, for all the Manchester, all of that. Liverpool, obviously, bit of crime. The Northeast, Borough, Newcastle. I don't know, I've really played down Liverpool. Bit of crime, like. I used to have a bird down in Liverpool, so I got a soft spot for it, But yeah, more than a bit of crime. Let's be reasonable about it. But, also got wrecked by Thatcher, swings and roundabouts, right? One of them.
Got the Beatles, mate. Always got that from.
And I don't even count London. Like, London's just a fucking nightmare. Like, London is just, it's not even real, is it? Like, London isn't real, but it's just there. In fact, I don't think anyone lives in London anymore who's not in some crime syndicate, if the movies are to be believed. Every movie that's set in London's just a crime, like a gangster film these days. Like, it's ridiculous. Anyway, Nottingham is the fucking one that is the sleeper part of Britain. That is ridiculous. And I used to go down there I used to have mates down there. I used to have a mate who played rugby down there. And mate, do you remember that story about that biker gang where they were just riding around on bikes with shotguns, shooting at each other like Wild West shit? Like that was Nottingham.
Wasn't that with shotguns as well? Isn't that
that's where Shottingham. Yeah, but mate, they've been calling it Shottingham before that, like. But yeah, Shottingham's fucking mental, mate. Like it's just a wild place. And so that's just the organised crime side of things. But it's just weird and moody. There's just mad shit happening all the time. So if anyone's ever been there, you know what I'm talking about. I think also as well that woman who looked like a super mutant out of Fallout lived there, if I was right. The one who was pointing the hairdryer at the cars. But whatever, shit, that's not her fault. I'm just saying, it's, maybe not a holiday place, But anyway, this story is just unreasonable as fuck. So there's a guy in Nottingham, right, who walks around dressed as the Joker, and he just commits antisocial crimes, and he graduated to committing a horrendous violent crime. Right? So this is a guy, Damien Hammond, his name is, right? Where it just even says in the picture, Damien Hammond is well known for walking around Nottingham dressed as the Joker. Like maybe someone could have seen this coming a little bit. Like I don't know.
I just seeing him just in the light of day.
Is
it Halloween? Like no, mate, it's April 20th.
You just go home. You just go home immediately. Like if you're waiting for a bus and he's at the same stop, you walk away. This is by a little bit of advice for all the zooms out there, because remember, when quarantine gets lifted, we're all gonna have to go out again. Some of you maybe for the first time in your young lives, leaving the house. If you see anyone dressed as the Joker in a public setting, unless that setting is a Halloween party, get the fuck out of that building. Get away. These nothing good is coming from that interaction, right? I just want to let you know up front, okay? I've lived a little. You can listen to me. So anyway, the headline: Nottingham's Joker. He's not even
just known for it, mate.
Just known for it. Like Nottingham's Joker jailed for attacking man with bowling ball. A prolific criminal has been jailed for dropping a bowling ball on a council worker's head, giving him a brain injury.
Fucking hell.
Mate, a bowling ball on your head. It's not like the fucking Flintstones, mate. That's outrageous. How's he lived?
It's done well to not get a squished head, like just bring.
Mate, tanking that is unreal. Like, what an hard cunt. Damien Hammond, who is known for walking around Nottingham dressed as Batman's nemesis. That you don't add that bit to the news. You don't need to tell me it's Bat. Yeah, I know. No, but not even. Who cares? Like, that's not the story here. Like, why don't you just go in? Give me the deep lore on the Batman in the middle of a BBC crime report. And if you've read Year One, actually, canonically, fucking chill out. Like, anyway. And he had previously been convicted of 110 offences.
That's mad.
110.
How is he not in jail?
Right.
Well, no, he is, obvious, but fuck. Yeah.
In December 2019, he attacked a man who was collecting a television that he himself had left on the pavement outside his flat.
The bowling ball smashed him with a bowling ball. So
yeah. The bowling ball incident fractured the man's skull and gave him a brain hemorrhage.
Fucking hell.
The judge gave him what is known as an extended sentence, thank fuck, in order to protect the public. He will serve 16 years, but it must comprise of 12 years in custody and an extended license period of 4 years. The judge told him, "You are a volatile individual." Again, talk about understatements today, innit? Yeah, mate, he's been dressed as the Joker and committed 110. He may as well be the fucking Joker at that point, you know what I mean? When you've committed that number of crimes dressed as the Joker, you are just the Joker, aren't you?
Exactly. What about when this cunt comes out and does something worse? Like, how daft are you cunts gonna look before? So he did 110 crimes just as a Joker. He smashed someone's head with a bowling ball, and then you decided to let him back out, and now he's just fucking taking out 10 pins worth of heads with a bowling ball. He's got a fucking strike, you mad cunts. How could he just go, yeah, a couple of years, he'll be sound? Like, he's fucked, isn't he?
You are a volatile individual who will almost certainly offend again.
Yeah.
And like the previous 110 times, And it would be short-sighted of me if I were not to protect the public. You are dangerous, and you must only be released when that danger has subsided.
True.
The court heard about how he had a 2-hour standoff with police in which he threatened to kill anyone who approached him. Then, after setting fire to himself, he jumped out of a window.
How was he living?
He then pled guilty to a fray.
Guilty to a fray? What does that mean?
Well, like, a fray is like, having a rough up. So...
All right, so I guess like sort of evading police, like roughing up the police, getting aggro.
Yeah, he's jumped out a window while he's on fire and been seized by police. Like, it's kind of nice to call that a fray. Like, that's fucking out.
That's what I mean. Like, you've been charged for fucking self-larceny, being a dangerous cunt, and pissing me off.
But yeah. So yeah, just Nottingham in a fucking nutshell. One of the maddest fucking stories I've ever heard. Well, here's what I don't understand as well. How have they got all these pictures of him? Like, just look at the BBC. How have they just got pictures of him walking around dressed as the
everyone
Joker?
knows him, doesn't he? That's what I mean. Like, look at this. It says here in 2016 he was given a 12-month prison sentence for wounding. He was also jailed in 2018 for carrying out a series of offences over a 3-month period, including obstructing a police officer, criminal damage, and disorderly conduct.
Yeah, and look though, like, mate, to be fair to him, that's not what I mean. But like, he's committed to the joke a bit. Like, look at him, he's got the purple jacket and everything.
Yeah.
Like,
he has gone all in. Like,
just saying, he is about that life. Like, but it is definitely a good thing he's in prison now. Like, so. You're safe, council workers. And obviously get well soon to that fella who's just gone round to do the bins or whatever, you know what I mean?
A bowling ball to the head for no reason whatsoever. Is this what you want checking out, mate? Hey, you bad bastard!
I'll also add, like, to be fair, I mean, like, the Joker did try and commit unbelievable crimes that were going to, like, cause the upheaval of society. He didn't just harass council workers.
He's on his way up,
brutally
mate.
assault
That's what
them,
I'm worried about. He's been slowly phasing up. God knows what he's going to do when he's out after 16 or 12 years, mate. He's going to go fucking mad, doesn't he?
What, you think this is like an origin story, is it?
Yeah, he needs a 24/7 tag, like.
Yeah. Right.
A GoPro attached to his head at all times. Just watch.
I'd watch that, like.
Yeah.
I would watch that. That's the future of entertainment. Criminals get early release on the proviso that a TV network broadcasts. The fucking GoPro that's taped to their head. That's coming to America, like it must do. If you can imagine it, Americans are going to do it, aren't they? Just how it is, like.
Yeah. You would have a 10-year prison sentence, but we can send you home with 10 GoPros and 40 batteries, and you've just got to live stream your whole life.
So anyway, while we're talking about life imitating art, let me show you another example of that. Back to Edinburgh, up the road. This one imitated the scene from Django Unchained, if anyone has seen that movie.
Film.
Yep, there's a scene where the KKK, who were obviously racist morons, they're wearing their hoods, and they're going after the titular Django, and the hoods are blowing on their faces. They can't see anything. They haven't got eye holes in them.
They're all like classic Southern hicks, like, who cut my bag? These holes ain't big
my
enough.
wife worked hard on these. Yeah, all of that, right? So, very, great movie. Obviously, Tarantino, great film. Well, this actually happened in real life. This is the headline: blundering bank robber forced to remove pillowcase disguise after forgetting to cut in eye holes. A blundering bank robber in Fife put a pillowcase over his head to hide his identity, but then had to take it off because he couldn't see what he was doing during an attempted raid. Matthew Davis, no relative, I hope.
No relation.
Matthew, my cousin Matt.
Matt, you mad cunt! I told you to cut holes in it.
Why didn't you use the one I made for you, you man? Anyway, Matthew Davis stormed into the Bank of Scotland branch in Dunfermline, armed with a meat cleaver last September, demanding money from terrified staff behind the counter. The 47-year-old, a bit old for this game, mate.
Also, if you're 47 years old, you must have seen a film. Do you think you're going to be able to rob a bank with a meat cleaver and a fucking pillowcase, but? Like, what the fuck do you think you're doing, you man? What were you robbing? You wouldn't be able to rob a tuck shop with a meat cleaver and a pillowcase. The fuck was his
Not
plan,
in Dunfermline, you wouldn't. No, definitely
mad
not.
Cunt. It would be like that scene with fucking Lock Stock where it goes, "All bets are off." Do you know who owns his fucking bookies? Like, what are you doing?
The 47-year-old pulled the weapon from a pillowcase, then put the bedding item over his head, and then instantly lost his bearings within the branch. The High Court in Glasgow was told Davis had to quickly remove it because he forgot to create eye holes. Davis, who is from Dunfermline, still managed to get his hands on almost £2,000 after repeatedly battering a glass partition at the bank's counter with a meat cleaver and threatening to harm a customer.
So they just gave it up. They should know, mate, you're in a bank. Your glass ain't gonna shatter from a meat cleaver. Like, that's bulletproof. Especially in Scotland.
Yeah, that's
they know, know motherfuckers be coming in with shotguns. Yeah. There's no way you're cleaving through that.
After he sauntered off, he was later spotted petting a dog.
Cheers.
A brave customer from the bank had followed him to his house. Well, this guy's an absolute criminal mastermind.
Yeah,
fair play to the customer as well. But he was eventually caught after a brave customer from the bank followed him home and then called the police to give them their address. Davis pleaded guilty to assault and robbery and will be sentenced next month. Fair play, like, imagine being in the middle of a bank robbery and you just fucking think, like, I'll tell you what I'll do. I think I'll follow the robber, the robber with a meat cleaver. I think I'll just follow him on.
After you watch him come in with a bag over his head.
True.
Put your hands up. This is a stick up. Facing the wrong way. Where am I? Fuck the bag. Just like, I'll just follow him on, mate.
Yeah, fuck the bag. Right, I haven't got eye holes.
Put the money in the bag. You're wearing it, sir.
It's got holes in the bag now, sir. Yeah, the money's falling out.
Why do you put pound coins in? What are the notes?
What an absolute fucking idiot. Like, what a plum. Right, what else have we got? Okay, let's go to the northeast of the UK. Again, slightly cheery. I haven't really planned the order out here because there are some horrific stories on this list. Like, so I got to start thinking about how we're going to fucking do it without ending on a bummer or whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah. So let's do this. This was an announcement published in the Northern Echo, and the headline just tells you all. The police warn that dogging is not essential travel amid COVID restrictions. Now, I don't even know if I can do this story justice. Without just reading the story. I don't think anything else needs to be added. A police force in the UK was forced to speak out to insist travelling to a so-called dogging event would not be classified as essential travel. The website, Let's Go Dogging. I mean, fair play, they have named it properly. Like, you can't fault them for branding.
It sounds like a Wii Sports game. Let's go dogging. Like, why is this so upbeat?
Small one. Yeah, it's pretty mad, isn't it? Yeah, the website Let's Go Dogging has shared that there are plans for a meetup in Essex. Essex,
hell,
to its 26,000 followers.
So they don't all live
media.
in Essex. We'd be fucked.
The site claims to organise dogging events, the act of watching sexual activity in a public place, across the UK, USA, Australia, Canada, Ireland, New Zealand, and South Africa, all the dogging hotspots. It didn't disclose exactly where. You're fucking trying, Northern Echoes, loving it. It has not disclosed exactly where in Canvey Island in Essex the meetup would took place, but Essex police have now been compelled to speak out, insisting any such meetup would be against COVID
if they didn't
rules.
know, like, yeah, we know, yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's against rules, isn't it? Like, just not like just the rules. Like people having sex in cars while people staring through the windows, like in public. Isn't that wrong? Like, isn't that against the law in general? Whatever. I don't know.
Is it? Probably not. If everyone's consenting, I guess not.
I don't know, mate.
You're in a public place, actually.
Yeah.
So I guess it is.
Thought you couldn't fucking commit a lewd act in a public place.
They park the car in their back garden. I think it'd be fine.
Anyway, Norman Smith, leader of Castle Point Council, told the sister title, the South End Echo, that no previous meetups of this kind had been reported in the borough, and he hoped it would be stamped out. He said, "It's something I've never heard of as an issue."
Grow up, easy
politician, never knew that. Yeah, fucking classic council worker on the defensive. I don't even know what dogging is, and if I don't even know what dogging is, and whatever it is, it definitely doesn't happen around here. It definitely,
that sounds gross.
It's definitely not happening at 6:00 tomorrow. That would be fucking disgusting, like.
And if anyone's in their cars over in Canary Island, right, I'm going to be ashamed of you. 6 p.m.
6 p.m. on the dot. I've got a right diamond cutter that needs working on.
Never heard it.
Never heard of it, like. I am hoping that this is the first time and we can stop the menace of dogging before it starts. I certainly hope it does. I added that bit.
Oh, okay. I was going to say.
I added that bit. I have just misquoted him. This cunt's a dogger, mate. He's a dogger. Come on. He's a dogger. We all know he's having a dog on the side. He's fully dogging, isn't he? Like, there's just no need to deny this. Like, you don't deny it to this degree.
Like, it so aggressively. It's obvious you are a dogger. Like,
so anyway, there's a bunch of stuff at the end saying, if you commit a blatant breach of COVID protocols, you will be putting your life at risk and the life of everyone else.
You will be forced to attend a dogging meeting.
Yeah, you fucking dogging. What?
Do you know what that is?
What's that? Remember when Stan Collymore got caught dogging? Like,
yeah. When did they film him as well? Wasn't there multiple footballers? Am I thinking of a different?
Tons. It was over here in Cannock Chase.
Because I think there was like
notorious dogging hotspot.
2 footballers having sex in a car, and it was filmed and released. Like I think I was someone else.
Who knows, man? But yeah, dogging, not essential travel. Good to know. I've put my plans on hold, Sam. There'll be no dogging this weekend. Right, what else have we got? Fucking hell. Right, I need to start segueing into some of this serious stuff. But how am I going to do it? How am I going to get there? Fucking hell, it's rough. Yeah, let's just do this one. Right. This is the story. Tragic in a way. But also, kind of a little bit of play stupid games, win stupid prizes. But tragic. But, This is the story about a man, a YouTuber, who was shot dead in Nashville because they were making a prank robbery video.
Good idea.
Yeah,
especially in Nashville, mate.
Yeah, I know, of all the places. Like, People don't fuck about down there. Anyway, a man appears, he definitely has been, appears to have been shot and killed by mistake while making a prank robbery video for YouTube. Police in Nashville, Tennessee said they were called to the car park of an urban air trampoline and adventure park on Friday evening. When they arrived, a man aged 23 admitted shooting a 20-year-old. Witnesses told detectives that while Mr. Wilkes and friends were making the video, they approached a group of people, including the shooter, carrying butcher's knives. The shooter was not involved in the prank and immediately drew his gun and shot the YouTuber in self-defense. An investigation has begun, but so far no one has been charged with his death. I can't even imagine, like if you're doing a prank like that, like the other person has to be in on the prank.
Yeah.
Like surely you can't, because right,
or it has to be obvious. Like you can't do a prank with knives. Can you be mad? Like if you're gonna do a prank, you come in with like a blow up gun, like something that's obviously a joke, or you know what I mean? Come in with like a paintball gun. Like everyone get that. Even a paintball gun's risky. Like you might get shot
risky
for having
business.
a paintball gun.
No, but
it
like
needs to be obvious. It's a joke, a water pistol, something like.
I don't know if I'm taking this a bit too far. But I think if you go up to someone with a knife and go, give me all your money, you're not doing a prank robbery. No. You're just doing a robbery.
Yeah.
You are, like, what's the difference at that point? Like, you know what I mean? Like, where's the separate? What if they give you the money? And you go, just a prank, bro, yeah. Yeah, you've still traumatized that cunt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't know if I'm, like, being harsh, but... fucking hell. Like, the whole point of those...
As you decide to do like, anything that happens to you, you fucked it, like, it's entirely your fault. Even if you're doing it with a water pistol, mate, like, you're just taking so much unnecessary risk for no reason.
Look, this is part of a broader thing. There's this fucking influencer culture and people, like, wanting to, make it. It's just so fucking ridiculous, you know what I mean? It's like, people are just so over the top with that. They all think if they do the next outrageous thing, that, it'll be me, I'll go viral. And it's like, people are doing absolutely unbelievable shit. Like, just horrible, heinous shit with horrible, heinous repercussions. That guy in that moment, your prank, your super funny video, he thinks his life's at risk.
Yeah, and now he's got to live with the fact he's killing you.
That's fucking ridiculous. What an outrageous thing to put on somebody else for the sake of a YouTube video. And then you hear, I mean, fuck, man, like some of these things that are going on, like at the moment with all these YouTubers. Obviously, we did that horrific Russian story last time. There was another one as well. Like, it's just people. Like, we gotta go back. We gotta go back to pre-internet times. It's the only way, mate. It's the only way, Sam. It'll put a strain on our relationship, but it'll be worth it for humanity in the long run. Get rid of the gulls, get rid of the internet, and we're gonna be okay.
They better do some sort of Twitch live stream to teach everyone how to cook first, mate, on Twitch, because the amount of fucking... It blows my mind. I've been starting to watch, like, those YouTube compilations of other streamers. Mate,
horrendous.
Streamers can't boil water, but...
No, I know.
Like, it's... Hafu said, I like watching a stream. I was watching live, said, yeah, I can't boil water. It's like, what do you...
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do you mean you can't boil water? Like, you put water in the pan, you add heat. You boil, like...
Yeah, it's I mean, don't get me wrong, like, it's good that people learn skills. The thing that worries me is, like, they end up drifting towards stuff like Kay's cooking,
Yeah, exactly, that's what I mean.
Alright, Kay, today I'm gonna be just burning something and feeding it to my giant son.
Come here, Lee. Some more
Lee,
bison.
get a mix on. Got a mix on.
Bit crunchy, that.
I saw a story that probably this is a global story now. Saw a story that would probably be of a deep concern to you. I thought of you immediately, Sam. I was worried about you. I thought if Sam sees this story, like, he's gonna really be having a struggles.
Is this darts related or green related?
It's green related. Of course, obviously, it had to be one of the others. There is nothing more to Sam than he likes darts and he likes weed, and that's it, basically. But mate, this is the news where of all the places. So I just throw an empty bottle on one side. This is the news from all the places. Jamaica is now dealing with a marijuana shortage.
Eh?
I know, right?
That's mad. But in Jamaica, most people just grow their own, like, generally. Well, I say that from the YouTube videos I've seen, like, of, what's his name? Marco's Kitchen, I think his name is, mate. He has his own yard, and he grows all his own green, and he grows all his own food.
Yeah.
So I think
couldn't
most
believe it
people
either.
just grow with themselves. They don't rely on other people for it, like.
Right? Wait till you hear this, though, mate. They've got it so fucking sussed over there. So this is from the Associated Press Media Wire. Kingston, Jamaica. This is the fucking headline. Jamaica is running low on ganja.
Oh, nightmare.
I know. See, while you're all worried about your Dogecoin, and whether or not your fucking your GME stock's going straight to the moon, we got real problems happening in Jamaica, boys. Real problems.
If anyone
Heavy
makes
rains
from GME, you better help out Jamaica straight away. Get that on the Wall Street subreddit. I fixed Jamaica's weed problem.
Right. Heavy rains, extended heavy rains, followed by an extended drought, have led to an increase in local consumption.
Oh, yeah, been rough.
Raining outside. Yeah, I don't think I'll go out today. I think I'll just stay and get high. That's pretty dry outside. Yep, just going to stay in and get high.
It's too dry to work.
Perfectly. Absolutely perfect. It's led to an increase in local consumption, but a drop in the number of marijuana farmers. This led to a shortage in the island's famed but largely illegal market that experts say is the worst they've seen. It's a cultural embarrassment, said Tristan Thompson, Chief Opportunity Explorer for Takea, a consulting and brokerage firm for the country's nascent legal cannabis industry.
Well, hang on, isn't it mostly that cunt's fault? You've taken all the green and made illegal green to sell somewhere else. You're taking up the green space. If you weren't being so fucking greedy with your green, we wouldn't have a green problem.
If the farmers aren't going to go and plant the ganja and grow the ganja and harvest the ganja,
I don't believe
we are gonna run out of ganja. Like,
you know, the real cunts, the real rastas in Jamaica, mate. They all grow their own weed. None of them are struggling, mate. I bet it's all the tourists that start, or maybe that's why actually. Obviously, tourists go to Jamaica quite a lot. They buy a load of fucking overpriced weed from people who sell in the streets. Maybe that's fucked up the supply chain a bit. Maybe nobody was buying this, so they stopped growing as much, switched to growing more food. No, there's not.
Well, it adds here that they do now have, because it had been illegal for a long, long time. It's why there was like a large, lot of crime syndicates that operated in Jamaica and around weed, because it's like, imagine a country where you have a very prominent religious group and also just the cultural acceptance of consuming a drug, but that drug is also illegal, but it also grows everywhere, and also it's the perfect climate to grow it. It's like, I don't want to say you create your own problems where it's like, right, I think we need to regulate this thing that's fucking everywhere and everyone wants.
Exactly.
Like, it's, the prohibition model in 1920s US should teach you all you need to know about how that pans out. It's completely ridiculous. But anyway, it says here that they've had a regulated medical marijuana industry, and they've now, in 2015, they finally decriminalized possession of weed in small amounts. People caught with 2 ounces or less of cannabis are supposed to pay just a small fine, but there will be no arrest or criminal record. The island allows individuals to cultivate up to 5 plants for personal use, and Rastafarians are just legally allowed to smoke ganja for sacramental purposes. So that's fair enough, actually. Yeah, and 2 ounces. The idea, by the way, of 2 ounces is just being a small amount is pretty funny.
Exactly. Like, mate, I only got 40 G on me, man.
Yeah, I know. I'm just walking around with 56 grams of honking green.
This is just for today, like.
Personal, yeah. This is just Percy. This, like, what you want about, officer? You mad cunt. Like, 56 grams, not bad. Like. Anyway, it says enforcement is spotty as many tourists and locals continue to just buy marijuana on the street, where it has grown more scarce but also more expensive. The heavy rains and freak weather conditions have pummeled Jamaica's marijuana fields that were then later scorched by the sun and the drought that followed. This caused tens of thousands of dollars in losses, according to the farmers who cultivate pot outside of the legal system. It destroyed everything, said Danielle Bosra, who grows marijuana in the southwest part of Jamaica in a historical village called Akompong, which was founded by escaped 18th century slaves from the Maroon tribe. Worsening the problem were the COVID measures. Is there anything COVID won't get to? It's wrecking your weed now.
Oh, mate, they gave a curfew even to farmers, so the
Yeah.
farmers couldn't work in their fields. That's mad.
They put a 6 p.m. curfew in Jamaica, so farmers just couldn't go out in at night, which is when you want to work in Jamaica because it's fucking blazing hot. Yeah, it's fucking scorchio, like. So, also as well, it's quite an in-depth report. This I learned a lot.
Yeah, fair play. They've gone in on it.
They talk about that, and then they say Wallace estimated he lost more than $18,000 in recent months, and he'd only managed to cultivate just £300.
Oh, no. Only £300 of green, boys.
Jamaica's like, oh, they're loving it, mate. They absolutely love weed. Like, I only managed to cultivate £300 compared with an average of £700 to £800 he would normally produce. Yep. Anyway, this Paul Burke, right? Paul Burke, CEO of Jamaica's Ganja Growers and Producers Association. How the fuck do you get that job? I'm the CEO of Green.
Like, deal with that. To work under Paul Burke, like, what have we got to do to get that?
He told us in a phone interview that people are no longer afraid of being locked up because the government allows possession of amounts. He said the stigmatization against ganja is diminished and more people are appreciating its therapeutic and medicinal value, especially during the pandemic. Burke also added that some traditional small farmers stopped growing weed in frustration because they can't afford to meet the requirements of the legal market, while police are destroying anything that they consider illegal, which are perfectly good ganja fields. So it's mate.
So I guess you've got to there's a certain spec your farm has to be up to in order to sell the weed legally or give it to the
mate. You know how it'll be. It'll be a grift like all the other shit.
You have to pay for a license. Yeah.
I lived out in Nevada when this shit went legal, right? And so overnight, 400 fucking dispensaries just pop up to thee like that. And when I looked into it, because I was thinking, if I do end up living out here, I might want to take some of my money and put it in a business. Why not have a weed dispensary? Hire you just run it. You know what you're doing with weed. Yeah. You know your way around that. And so I'll get a dispensary. Mate, it was a 4-year waiting list. Unless you know the right people, unless you're willing to pay this and that. Palms. Yeah, fuck that noise. So God only knows what it's like in Jamaica, to be fair, where everyone can grow weed.
Yeah.
So yeah, just sad times in Jamaica. I hope all my Jamaican brothers and sisters are able to get through this torrid time of, it's bad enough when you live in Port Talbot and it's dry.
Exactly. Imagine living in Jamaica. You look around, there's just greenery everywhere. How can there be no green?
Where's the green?
I've been going through the forest, the rainforest, looking for it.
Right. We'll move from Jamaica since we're doing global news at the moment. And let's move to Hyderabad.
Right.
This is a story from India today. More like Hydra Chad. Let me tell you about this guy. This guy was... in fact, I'll say this guy. I'll give you his name. This is a guy called... Mr. A. Ramesh, it just says. Okay. But what happened is they have these things called challan, which is basically like a parking ticket, like a fine for, an irregularity and, in your vehicle. They do these on-the-spot fines, basically. And so he got so pissed off that police had issued him this parking ticket, right, essentially, or this traffic fine, that he found out where the police headquarters were, where the police officers were based, and he snuck down there and he cut the power supply to the police station.
Famous.
Then he went back right, and removed the fuses from the traffic signal where he got stopped. And just plunged, just plunged the local police into absolute chaos. What an absolute beast!
Find me, will you?
This came after he was engaged in a heated argument with the traffic cops, where he tried to argue his case because he thought the fine was unfair. They issued it anyway, prompting the outrageous action. Of course, they did know that it was him. They were like, "Oh, remember that mad cunt we gave a traffic fine to earlier who said he was definitely going to
cut
get
the
us
power supply. He was screaming.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah. So now he's upgraded his somewhat modest traffic fine for being over the line at a traffic light. He's now upgraded that to 2 charges under the Indian Penal Code and will be sent to judicial custody by a court awaiting trial. So
that is an arse pale, you know. You can see where he was annoyed. He got charged by being over the line on a traffic like that. Cunt was a job's worth, obviously. That traffic like, let me just get my ruler out. You know, 4 inches over that line, sir. Like, fuck off.
Yeah, you know how it is though. No one gets into traffic enforcement if they're happy.
True.
You know, you basically failed at being a police officer if you're doing that. So obviously these people are just grumpy jobsworths. You know, they're never gonna do anything worthwhile. So that's just how it goes. You know what? I'd say fair play, Ramesh. He fought the system. He lost, like massively.
Definitely lost.
Ruined his entire life over nothing. But he had a go. He stood up for it. He stood up for what he believed in.
Argument, like, you won that one.
Oh, the pettiest, like.
I won the power.
So fair play to him. What else have we got? Right, hang on. Here we go. We'll keep it international, and then we're going to segue into some horrific stories. Hopefully, we'll end with some comedy. Let's see if I've done it right. This story is from Nigeria, and just a crazy story. I saw this published everywhere. I double checked it. I thought this can't be real. This is one of them stupid stories, you see. You know, and it's like, you know, they put them in like little strips. I found out the other day, this has got nothing to do with the show, but we'll leave it in anyway. I said on stream, you know, about that dwarf who got swallowed by an hippo.
Yeah.
That's not true. It's been fact-checked by Snopes.
Well, it was like a fake video.
No, there was no video. It was just a story that they put in there. You see, what happens is, right, so, right, when you're running a newspaper, you have your actual stories, and then you have, like, columns and stuff down the side. Yeah, where, you know, it's like 250 words tops, right? And you have to fill a newspaper with just shit people want to read, you know, that's what the
found in tree. Get 250 words of that shit, cunt.
and that's what the editors, you know, always say. If you've ever worked in, you know, journalism as an editor, they always say the challenge is to fill the space. That's the editorial, you know, kind of saying. So anyway, when I see a lot of these weird stories, my instant, you know, leaning is to say they're probably not true, because generally how it works is you pull these stories off like a press wire, you know, that come through. You'll often see these stories get regurgitated time and time again as well. Like you'll see the same story pop up 3 months later in the same paper. You know, it's just garbage, but it's just there to fill the space. And so whenever I see stuff like this, I go, it can't be true. But I double checked and triple checked it, and they're telling this story is true. Mad fucking story. Oh, sorry, no, this isn't Nigeria. It was published in Nigerian Times first, that's why. It's from Slovakia, place I've been to. Love Slovakia. You know, Bratislava, great. A robber in Slovakia was caught by police after a woman at the scene chose to delay his escape by performing a sex act on him. The man, a 24-year-old Serbian, had been attempting to rob a petrol station on the outskirts of Bratislava overnight on Tuesday. While trying to get the money from the safe, a woman decided to perform a sex act on him before officers found the pair half naked on the floor. The bizarre incident began when the man ran into a petrol station demanding staff hand over the money. Yeah, we know the mechanics of a robbery. Thanks for explaining it. The robber punched a staff member multiple times and started grabbing money from the cash register. He then went to the back office to find a safe where a second member of staff was sitting. Then, while the safe was being opened, the first member of the staff ran out and called the police, who were en route to the scene. Meanwhile, a mystery woman appeared and began
the fucking dick sucker of justice. Like, oh, she just showed up out of nowhere, like, for justice.
Mate, not all heroes wear capes, right? Meanwhile, the mystery woman appeared and began performing a sex act on the man, which delayed his escape. In the meantime, the police turned up, were able to arrest the suspect. I can't believe this.
I can't be arsed. These lines are so shit and cringe.
I know. No, but I this is why
every time I read these, I just think
of
the journalist writing it just being an absolute fucking loser. Like, how can I write this? Yeah,
I know. Officers said the man put up stiff resistance.
Fuck up, and then no, they didn't. Like, the officers did not say.
No, an officer did not say that. Like,
why are you lying?
And that coercive measures had been used against him. It is not clear how the robber and the woman ended up in an intimate situation, and the investigation is ongoing. Like, so, madness, absolute madness. Like, there's a lot to unpack. How
do you know the woman would involve? Maybe it's some
thing.
sort of like Bonnie and Clyde sort of situation, and she's like, "Oh yeah, he's robbing a safe." Yeah, she just got turned on. Maybe she was in on it. How she just appeared and started sucking him off? Who does that? Like, who does that?
No, but like, right? No, but here's the thing, right? So he's robbing a store, right? He's committing a crime, and he knows he's going to go to prison if he gets caught. How good a blowjob are we talking here?
Like, fucking go on.
Bloody hell.
Go on.
Fucking hell, straight swan neck in. I better. That's ridiculous. Like you just say not now. I am having a rob.
Time, but now,
you are peng and all that. Like, but I am robbing a store. Like, I am committing a violent crime. Like, I have to leave. Like, sorry. If I ever see you in town, we can go get a drink in there. But now I have to go.
Rob, like.
Yeah, I am full doing a rob. Like, so what a mad fucking story. It's everywhere as well. And it's even been reported in, Czech Republic and Slovakia and all that. I went and looked at it because I saw that I got linked to another story, just unrelated. It was like someone got arrested because they scammed the CS:GO skin.
Really?
This is in the Czech Republic. Yeah, they scammed like a karambit knife of someone, and they got arrested for it and they're looking at jail time. And I was like, that's bollocks. That's some clickbait bullshit, right? But then you can go in the Czech Republic, you can go to the police websites and they just list all the people who get arrested for all of the crimes, and it was there. And it comes under like theft, like virtual items are covered as theft.
I mean, knives can be fucking pricey, but so it could be a fucking very expensive knife, like.
Yeah. So, just saying. Mad, isn't it? Because, like, you think about how we're rolling about, fucking skins and virtual items in video games, like, over here, and we're so behind the fucking curve like a bunch of boomers. Meanwhile, Czech Republic just got it sussed. Yep, it's a thing. It's got value. You've took it. That's a crime. You're arrested. Like, perfect. Like, that's fucking on the money. So, yeah. But, yeah, mad place, but you can check these things, and this story does appear to be real. God bless her. God bless her. Right. Let's do let's start segueing into what I hate here is about really unpleasant stories that ruin your day. Let's start with this one. This is just so fucking ridiculous. I despair for humanity when I see stuff like this. Hang on. You might have to get the archive. Can I even do this? There it is. Sorry. I'll send you the archive because on all these websites we get GDPR now, don't we?
Yeah.
So like you can't look at certain American news websites if you're in Europe. I forget that. So anyway, this is a man was accused of groping an EMT, an emergency response worker, at the scene of a fire, but he was actually just having a seizure.
Fucking hell.
So this is from the Bronx. A man was accused of inappropriately touching an EMS worker responding to a Bronx fire, but it has now been ruled they will not be charged because he was the victim of a false narrative and was actually suffering from a chronic seizure, according to District Attorney Darcel Clark. On January 28th, a female EMT worker was flagged down by someone in need of help at the scene of a fire that morning. When she approached, the woman, 32, said she was inappropriately grabbed. The man was then arrested by the New York police at the scene. But then, when it went to court and they investigated it, the man had been suffering from a chronic seizure due to the stress of the fire, and that he'd been the victim of a false narrative. The district attorney said, "We will not tolerate assaults on first responders who courageously serve our city. But however, after an intensive investigation, we have dismissed all charges against this individual, as he seems to have been having a seizure." They were able to track down surveillance footage as well that showed him staggering and falling before going into the seizure arrest, and he was already lying on the ground while having a seizure.
I don't get where the accusation came from. Who was it?
Well, from her.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay.
The EMT responder. He was like in a seizure and he was like grabbing at her while she was trying to stabilize him, and she went and reported him for fucking having a grope, like having a grab, even though he was fucking. It says it video
how do you
footage.
Not notice the man's having a seizure if you're an EMT, like. If you're an EMT, you should probably be able to realize he's seizing. Like, you should probably have an idea that he's not in the right mindset. You think?
Yeah. The investigation lasted some time and even included interviews from community members who knew the man and said that he had a very debilitating illness and that he had suffered multiple seizures in public in the past, during which he would have to grab at anything within reach to try and stabilize himself. A review of medical records also confirmed a history of chronic seizures, according to the district attorney's office. The union, the president of FDNY EMS Local 2507 Union, Oren Barzilli, said that the district attorney was completely out of line and irresponsible to dismiss these charges. They said a person with a serious medical condition would not be able to get up and walk away, and that the EMT was a clear victim of sexual abuse, as well as now being a victim of an unfair decision from a district attorney's office that had put all emergency workers in danger.
He was having a seizure though, like.
Yep.
he was having a seizure. I don't know what else to tell you. Like, he was seizing at the time.
Was having a seizure, mate. So there you go. Just, you know, I think about that. Like, obviously, you got, mate. Obviously, emergency workers get absolutely fucking brutalized in their job. It's horrific. Like, you wouldn't get me to do that for all the money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, like, imagine being in an emergency room on a fucking Friday night when all the pissheads start rolling in. They've all got concussions. They're all belligerent. They're all out of their mind, pissed up.
Touch me. Fuck off.
You know, you've seen it. Like, it's outrageous. But equally, I'll just add, like, this guy's life is already fucked. Like, probably got some type of chronic epilepsy or something like that. Like, I've already talked about how mad sympathetic I am. Got epileptic friends. Like, it's just, you know, you just wouldn't wish it on people.
Yeah, it's fucking horrible. At any time, and then go down, like,
you know, multiple weeks and weeks and weeks, he's been accused of being a fucking gripper. They're interviewing everyone in his local neighborhood. Is he a gripper? Is he a gripper? You know he's a gripper, right? And then obviously he's just having a seizure and just like trying to get someone to help him. You know, it's fucking awful, ridiculous. But you know, I keep saying America, it's not a serious country anymore. And we'll come to more on that topic in just a bit. But it's not just America. Let's also talk about people with complete ridiculous overreactions. You might have heard about we're doing a government drive against anti-extremism in the UK. This came in the aftermath of the tragic and awful bomb attack that happened in Manchester at the concert. And so now what they're deciding to do is try and do preventative outreach to stop radicalization of people before it happens. And it's now called the strategy is prevent. And people have basically said that if you suspect someone is likely to be radicalized, then you should, contact this anti-extremism scheme and they can monitor things appropriately. Now, far be it from me to say that maybe people have overreacted here, but this is the headline. Muslim boy aged 4 was referred to the Prevent Anti-Extremism campaign over playing a game of Fortnite.
What do you fucking mean? Like, by who?
Well, let's get into it. A 4-year-old boy's referral to the government's anti-extremism prevent strategy after talking about Fortnite at his after-school club has prompted fresh calls to abolish the controversial scheme. The boy from the West Midlands, who happens to be a Muslim, was referred to Prevent after saying his father had guns and bombs, but talking about playing on their Fortnite account. Transcripts of the conversation showed that the weaponry was linked to the video game and was not located in their domicile. The child's mother believes if her boy were white and not a Muslim, he wouldn't have been accused of potential radicalization. So, you know what kids are like. He's there. He's at after school. He's talking about his favorite game, Fortnite. He says he plays it with his dad. He says he's got all the guns, all the bombs, likes to build buildings. That has been overheard by an adult who has decided that a 4-year-old and their family poses some sort of danger without getting additional context.
Yeah, and then you go like, what are you talking about? Oh, Fortnite. Sound. Job dealt with immediately in 2 seconds.
Yeah. Then that's then used as a predicate for the government and their anti-extremist plans to sort of just, spy on this family, find out if there's any substance to it. Like, it's so mental. I don't, where are we at as a society where like an adult teacher, like an after school club, something extracurricular, right, is listening to a 4-year-old who happens to be a Muslim and assumes, well, this couldn't be about video games that kids play. It couldn't be about the most popular video game in the world. Couldn't be. He's obviously a wrong'un. He's 4. They start him early, don't they?
Even if it, like, oh yeah, because if his father in some world was a terrorist, first thing he'd be doing is telling his 4-year-old son about all the guns and bombs he's got in the shed. Like, what you on about? He might keep a lock on that shed, I would wager. If he had guns and bombs, it might put a lock on it, at least a padlock.
Now, the 4-year-old, was not the only child referred, with over 600 children who were under 6 being referred to the anti-extremist organization between 2016 and 2019. During that same period, 1,400 children between the ages of 6 and 9 were also referred. Like, what is this child uprising that we need to... What the fuck is going on? Like, absolutely insane. What a fucking absolute waste of money. It reminds me, by the way, of back in the day. I don't know if you know about, they set up the Shopper Scrounger hotline. Remember that?
Yeah.
And it was just any fucking pleb that saw you get on a van and drive somewhere could make themselves 50 quid or whatever. He's working, and I bet he's signing on and claiming the dough. Just a bunch of curtain twitcher jobs with sticky beak cunts, like lining up to accuse children of fucking terrorism. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like who are you? And the worst part is as well, I mean, especially for the 4-year-old we're talking about here, that's a teacher in a school. Like, what world are you living in? Where you're hanging around children, listening to what they say, and there's no like line of inquiry that you're willing to do as an adult who, under the laws of loco parenti, is responsible for that child while it's in your care.
Yeah.
You're not maybe thinking, maybe ask a few questions before you fucking shop them to the fucking government agents, you know? Maybe. Just a thought. You know, we're already struggling, by the way, to make inroads into, you know, certain marginalised communities in Britain. So I know what we'll do. We'll set up a scheme where any moron can accuse a child of being a radicalised terrorist. Fuck, we've cracked it. They'll love us now. It's fucking mad, mate. I couldn't believe that story when I saw it. Yeah, don't go talking about Fortnite at school. Also, wait, let me just double check this one. Actually, I don't even know if I want to get into this absolute fucking horror show. Because it's just I see a headline like this, and it does just make me think of the absolute state of the world. Like, I don't know. Right, I'll come back to that. Right. I'll come back to that. I'll try and find a palate cleanser. Here you go. We'll just do excessive decadence, because you know I don't like that either. And it also gives me a chance to talk about one of my favourite hip-hop artists who's finally blowing up like he deserves to, Freddie Gibbs. Did you see him, by the way, on Joe Rogan?
No. I
Freddie Gibbs
it anymore now it's on Spotify. Like,
right, well, put it this way: Freddie Gibbs, apart from the fact that he's one of the best hip-hop artists active right now, go listen to Alfredo. It was one of the albums of last year. It was sick. But I've followed Freddie all his career, and he finally got onto Joe Rogan, right? And he's there, and they're having a drink, and they start talking about how like drugs can like spike adrenaline and make you do crazy stuff and superhuman stuff. And Freddie just goes, "Yeah, I know that's true though, because down my way I shot a crackhead 9 times, and he ran down the block." And he just said it casually, like weren't even a joke. And it was just like Joe Rogan's like nervous laughing, like my Spotify deal's gonna be absolutely fucked. Like I couldn't believe it. Like he's just, because he is just that guy, you know. Like I just couldn't believe what he said. Like, just shot a crackhead 9 times. Yeah, don't tell people about that, Freddie. Like, you know, I like your music. Like, please. Yeah, calm down, Freddie. But anyway, I'm sure a lot of you saw this story. This was Lil Uzi Vert, who was allegedly paid $24 million to have a pink diamond embedded in his forehead.
Fucking hell, man. Fucking Thanos head, like.
Oh, but that's where Freddie comes in. But so this is the story. Lil Uzi Vert decided to invest a hell of a lot of money on embedding a pink diamond into his head. The rapper says all his luxury cars and his houses haven't been able to offset the extraordinary $24 million price tag the gemstone carries. He says, "I've been paying for a natural pink diamond for years now. This one stone costs so much, I've been paying for it since 2017.
Why? Like, who's asked? Like,
right? I don't know. Like, why?
It's gotta be cooler shit to spend your money on, but it's gotta be some cooler shit.
What, you don't think embedding a diamond in your forehead?
This guy, the worst part is, this poor cunt's going to have a gem ripped out of his forehead. You know what? People get their chains ripped all the time. This cunt's got 24 million stapled to his front of his face, the mad cunt. He's going to get fucking skenged. 100% getting skenged and having a gem ripped out your face. Like, are you
Who was that rapper? Who was that rapper, by the way, that got rolled? I think it was down in Atlanta, because you know how Atlanta is.
Is that the one where they were in like a fast food place and they stole his chain? I can't remember his name.
No, but what he did was he tweeted out, right? He tweeted out like he had a pile of money in his hand, and he said, "I've just bought this sick new chain, and I'm off to get some McDonald's or whatever." Like, just tweeted out his location with a wedge of, and he just got robbed in 10 minutes. Like, just 10 minutes later, just got robbed. Like, what? What are you doing? Like, you know, just fucking chill the phone. Like, why? Like, just keep that shit to yourself. Keep it on the down low. You know, we never told as a kid, like, don't flash all your money out. Don't you like when you go for drinks at a bar, you don't get your old roll out there, and you know what I mean. You just pull out what you need.
Top of the battering list, mate. If you pull out a stack, like,
Yeah,
like,
you
that's
can't
what I
be
mean.
doing
This
that.
cunt's top of the battering list everywhere he goes, but he's got 24 mil stapled in the
24
middle
mil
of
in his
his
head.
forehead.
24 mil in his head. Yeah, I just don't even.
Mad. He's
Yeah,
gonna have to pay 30 mil a year in fucking security to live. Imagine how many people who want to batter him, but
Oh, it is insane, like, especially as well if you're mixing in that world, because like, I don't even understand how, like, you know, you can sort of say, oh, I'm from the streets, I remember that gangster shit. Meanwhile, I'm sticking a 24 million diamond in my motherfucking forehead. Like, I mean, you know, there's just no way. But anyway, so we get to Freddie Gibbs. Freddie Gibbs, right, his Twitter account is the fucking funniest one I follow. I swear, like, if people don't know, just go follow Freddie Gibbs. Like, it's 100% worth your time, right? And here's what he tweeted out. He just said, "When I see Uzi," and tweeted out the scene. So Freddie's gonna do him, but Freddie's
24 mil.
So there you go. But yeah, just 24 mil for a diamond in your head. Absolutely ridiculous. Right. Where else do I want to go now? Yeah, we've done the dog in.
How hard is it to get off his head, I wonder? Could you take while he's asleep, like? Or have you got to really fucking yank
I don't
it
know.
off?
Come on.
Is it
Do
in
I
his
look like a
skull
man who
or
knows?
is it in his skin?
But put it this way, like, we can't embed it in your skull. I'd kill you. Like,
I think Yazzo. I think that's why he was so, like, because he had to have it done by, like, a surgeon, didn't he? I'm sure. I think it's pretty deep, like.
You can't be putting it in your skull, like, because, like, what if someone does rip it out, like, then you just
they better be stronger than your skull, like, if you want to rip it off.
I don't know, man.
Because someone in the chat, I've seen that loads of people be saying if it's removed wrong, he can die. So this daft cunt's put an off switch in the middle of his forehead. But even worse, this daft cunt's literally just put a off switch in the middle of his head, but just boop, rip his heart out like Indiana Jones. But Kalima, 24 mil, rip him off. But what a mad cunt, like fucking Dyson Hoover head, just off switch in the middle, like.
Henry the Hoover, just gone, like, just gone. Look, I've said this all the time, right? Everyone's fucked in the head. Everyone's mentally ill. Now, you got to be mentally ill to be a racist in the first place. But imagine racially abusing someone in real life because of something a video game version of them did while you were controlling it. That's the story we've got here. An 18-year-old from Ireland got permanently banned from having any EA accounts. He was a FIFA player who was playing in Ultimate Team mode, and he had a golden Ian Wright. Obviously, Ian Wright, Arsenal's top goal scorer.
Prime icon Ian Wright, I think they call it.
Oh, absolute legend. And, I 89. Don't know how I feel about that.
Rating for an icon.
Yeah, I might be willing to go 92 for vintage Ian Wright, frankly, but whatever. I'm not gonna. Let's not have that debate. Like, but he was a legend. If you never got to see him play, go watch his goal. He was a goal scorer. He was unbelievable. Now, basically, this kid was playing Ultimate Team mode. I say kid, he's 18. Fuck him, you're an adult. Sort your life out. And he had a bad run on the Ultimate Team mode, and he decided it was because Ian Wright wasn't scoring enough goals.
What a mad cunt, mate. How diseased is your head, like?
So he reached out to Ian Wright.
This is what's wrong with kids being raised in Harry Potter, right? Because have you seen the scene in Harry Potter where they get the chocolate frog? and it pops up and it's Dumbledore.
Never watched Harry Potter.
Right. Well, basically, the point is you get a card, right, and it's Dumbledore, and Dumbledore's there, and then you look again, he's gone, and he goes, well, you can't expect him to hang around all day. The point being that Dumbledore is actually in your card for a split seconds. This daft cunt thinks when he opens Ian Wright in FIFA, Ian Wright is playing for him, like he is playing and controlling Ian Wright. Oh, fucked is your head, like. Oh, fucked is your head.
Oh, yeah. So he decided, because the virtual Ian Wright he was controlling had let him down, he started sending racist, abusive messages to the real life Ian Wright on Instagram. Yeah. He don't even know who the fuck this cunt is, let alone you using him in FIFA. So he sent him like a dozen vitriolic, racist messages, and Ian Wright just reported it to the police. And he went to court, and he didn't have a custodial sentence imposed on him. They allowed the teenager to apologise and donate €500 to the Irish Network Against Racism, a decision to which Ian Wright expressed his disappointment. And EA came out and said, well, the courts might have let everybody down, but we'll certainly do our bit, and we're going to ban him from ever holding an EA account ever again. So that was the penalty that he received. Oh, mate, I just can't even imagine how fucked. So I can't imagine it. I can't, like, this is what I mean. Like, if people hear shit. People hear shit on the fucking, internet about, like, I'm always saying how fucking, weird it gets. You normal folk have no idea what it's like for even like a Z-list celebrity. Just non-stop vitriol. I had someone message me the other day, Sam, right? And I'm gonna just read it 100%, right? So it's an account. It's in Arabic, so I don't know what the account is named. But we do have fans all over the world, especially for By the Numbers. Counter-Strike's a global game. It's a chap from Dubai. And he messaged me 2 years ago, right? Again, these are just in my DMs, because when you have DMs on Twitter, when you have your DMs open, you have 2 tiers of DMs. People you follow and verified people, and then just the rabble. And you have to click on a separate tab to read those DMs. So anyway, 2 years ago, he just sent me a message. Hey, don't want to bother you, but how long will it take to upload By the Numbers? It's 20 to 5 here in Dubai, but I'm really excited for the episode. Right? So you're like, nice guy, he's a fan. Then in November, he sent me a link. I'm too afraid to click because it's probably a keylogger. Then in May 2020, he sent me a YouTube video about George Jeffrey, how to use exogenous growth hormone. Then in July, he sent me a message I will assume is abusive. It looks to be in Turkish. Then he sent me another phishing link in November of 2020. Clearly, it's one of the fake Dropbox ones. And then on Sunday, he sent me a Pornhub video, which the first 2 words of it are "daddy fucks." And I won't read you the rest. That guy's just out there doing that. You know what I mean? So God only knows what, like, real people have to go through. That's all I'm saying. So, anyway. Right, we'll start rounding out the show. Let's bang on some Americans for a bit, shall we?
Always down there.
Yeah, we're always down for that. I'm going to leave out some of the horrible stories. The reason there was this horrible story, you see, and it was up from where I used to live. I was living in Newcastle, and near where I used to live, and it's just an awful story, and I just can't be asked. But basically, 4 people got high, lured a mutual friend round to the house, and then just basically tortured him.
What the fuck?
They decided they were going to frame him for child sex crimes. Carved the word nonce, spelt wrong, into his back, and then beat him half to death.
What
But
the fuck?
just did it for banter. Mad. So we won't do that one.
Yeah, let's leave that one. Like, fucking hell.
Yeah.
Fuck, that sounds like a fucking center of a horror documentary on
Oh,
Channel
yeah.
4.
Absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, let's go with another fatal gender reveal, which we've covered on the show before. Fatal gender reveal. I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick of your gender reveals. Like, it needs to be said repeatedly, time and time again. Not even your dearest friends care about your child's gender. They don't care. Why is this even a thing? We're having a boy. Like, pray for a fucking healthy baby and shut the fuck up. That's that. No one cares. It's your life. No one. But people keep coming up with these stupid, elaborate ways of fucking doing these gender reveals. And so, much like last time, this person decided the ultimate way to do a gender reveal was with a bomb, basically. They made an explosive device.
Fucking hell.
So, a father-to-be from New York has died after a device he was building for his child's gender reveal exploded, according to police. Christopher Penkney, 28, was assembling the device in the town of Liberty when it exploded just before noon on Sunday.
This mad cunt's just making a homemade bomb and filling it with
He's making a homemade bomb for his gender reveal.
Yeah,
you have to understand as well.
Yeah,
you have to understand. You have to understand as well, right? That imagine what you've had to build for it to explode and instantly kill you. Like, what do you... It's just as well. It's just as well we didn't get to the party, innit? Because if
killed everyone.
Yeah, would have killed everyone there. You know. Anyway, I'll go on. He injured his brother as well. It was in like the fucking through a wall, right? They've said police have not specified what caused the explosion.
Bomb.
Daft cunt is the cause. Like, it was right. But the state police have said its bomb disposal unit are investigating the incident. A spokesman for state police told the New York Times the device consisted of some kind of pipe.
Mate,
he's made a pipe bomb, mate.
What do you mean?
He's made a pipe bomb for a gender reveal, mate.
What a mad cunt, like.
All right? Some kind of pipe. Speaking to the newspaper, his oldest brother described what happened as the freakiest of freak accidents that I could ever imagine.
It's not freaky, but you got a pipe bomb in an house on a table. Daft cunt made pipe go boom. Now he's gone. That ain't that freaky, but.
And now we get to a line that no human being should ever have to say out loud. The death is the latest in a string of catastrophes linked to gender reveal parties in recent years. Can you Americans sort your fucking heads out? Can you sort your fucking heads out? The gender reveals can include prediction games, with a big reveal being made with fireworks or sometimes coloured smoke grenades. But several large-scale parties have gone wrong, even resulting in several deaths. A man from Michigan was killed earlier this month after he was struck by shrapnel from a small cannon-type device fired during a baby shower. 2 other gender reveal parties sparked wildfires in California in September 2020. The fire burned more than 19,000 acres, destroyed houses, and forced hundreds to flee homes. Can you fucking stop? Can you just stop? Stop! For your fucking narcissistic little moment of importance. Oh, we're having a baby. It's the most amazing thing. Bill Hicks explained it perfectly. The miracle of childbirth is no more a miracle than you eating food and a turd coming out your ass. Calm the fuck down. It's not a big deal. It's just a biological reaction, you fucking clowns. Fucking hell. all got to suffer because you want to fucking, oh, look at us. Ridiculous. Also, on America, I covered this separately on a stream, but I had to get your take on it, Sam. Amazon have changed the logo on their app because a bunch of Americans looked at it and thought it looked like Hitler's mustache.
I don't see him, man. That wouldn't have been my first thought. I thought it was going to be a real obvious one.
Wouldn't have been my first thought, but then I'm not some fucking deranged person who's had it beaten into my brain for 5 years that there's fascists hiding under my fucking bed, like.
Yeah, it just looks like a ribbon, a bookmark. Like. I mean, are we mental? Are we wrong for not seeing it?
No one else sees it. No one else sees it. So Amazon changed its main shopping app logo after commentators on Twitter said its redesign made it look like Adolf Hitler. Launched in January, the icon depicts a strip of blue tape over the iconic Amazon Smile logo, but some observers said it resembled a toothbrush moustache, which of course is associated with the Nazi dictator. The technology giant moved quickly to change the design to a folded blue tape following customer feedback. Branding agency Coley Porter Bell chief executive Vicky Bullen said, unfortunately for Amazon, the visualization of their parcel tape on the original logo will be immediately associated as a Hitler-esque mustache, as that shape is forever embedded in our subconscious brains. Not the best for a brand that wants to create delight on the doorstep.
Grow up.
Mental.
Delight on the doorstep.
Yeah, that's also Amazon's slogan, by the way. Delight on the doorstep.
Oh, shit.
That is. You are right. Like.
More like fucking basic house needs on a doorstep. Who gets delighted by Amazon delivery? Like, I'm delighted my fucking dog grows here.
You know I don't.
Yeah, I'm delighted.
You outrageous cunt. You know I don't. And then we had this. Also, I'm gonna give you a TikTok to play it to the audience. I don't know if you saw, there was a lot of snow in America. They had a big bunch of blizzards and all this.
Austin was out of power and shit. Yeah.
And obviously,
Texas,
super blizzard struck Texas of all places, leaving people without power and everything else. And of course, some American conspiracy theorists decided this was part of the government and the elites to, I don't know, do something. And so what they started doing was they started taking snow that they said was fake.
Oh, yeah,
burning it and posting it to TikTok. So you can play this if you want and listen to the insane ramblings of the TikTok. 3, 2, 1.
Goes out to our government and Bill Gates. Thank you, Bill Gates.
And Bill Gates, like,
for trying
always
to fucking trick us.
He's always there.
This is real snow. You'll see, it's not melting.
The hell?
And it's going to burn. Snow don't burn. Snow fucking melts.
Snow don't burn.
No
Snow
water,
melts.
no dripping, no nothing. If I put this shit in the microwave, it's gonna start sparking because there's metal mixed in it. So you see that?
No way.
No melting.
No way.
It got harder. Try it again.
Trying to tell me a heavily compacted
Not
piece
melting.
of ice
It's
is
not water.
not instantly
It's just
melting?
burning.
Put it closer.
Just crazy.
What the hell?
So yeah, obviously,
Out to
just so
our government.
People know, this is a perfectly normal reaction. It has a bunch of science behind it that I can't explain. But yes, if you take impacted ice and you hold the lighter up directly to it, you will get some sort of mild, like, charring or blackened effect on the ice. It also does still melt as well.
Yeah.
But you can find there's been many scientific explanations for it.
I don't get what they think it is. Like, so you think they've, instead of just, right, I want a fake snow, right? So instead of filling everywhere with snow or putting something in the sky to make it colder, I've come up with a chemical that looks like snow, tastes like snow, but actually not snow. Why would
Yeah.
that be easier? Why would that be what I do? Come up with a new snow? I just fill it with snow, wouldn't I, you mad cunt? How is fake snow easier?
Well, you've also kind of overlooked an even bigger part of the questioning of the inquiry. Why? What's the conspiracy here? Why are they doing it?
Yeah, I don't know, man, but you can never explain that one because they just say they just makes the rich richer, man. All right, man. Snow makes the rich richer. All right.
Well, their theory is that Bill Gates and the elites, because people were reacting bad to the COVID restrictions, and were like,
Snowed
"Well, we're
them
not."
in, like.
Yeah, we'll snow them in to keep the lockdown going, not just pass a law.
Yeah. Not just, force you in.
Yeah, not just pass a law to make you stay in, which would be totally easier. No, what we do is we're going to make fake snow, put it everywhere. There was even one video I saw where someone's going, "Snow in Texas. That's how stupid they think we are. Snow in Texas." Like it just it was
And
just
then,
beyond the realm of
Not
possibility
only
for
do
her,
they
you know?
make the fake snow to force you all inside, then 2 weeks later, the state is open completely with no
Yeah.
restrictions whatsoever.
What a waste,
Yeah.
what a mad waste. We
Thank God
discovered
we
how
did
to
that
make
fake snow.
Yeah, really glad we did that mad fake super blizzard in Texas for no reason. Although it did make Ted Cruz look like an absolute bellend, so that was hilarious.
When he went on holiday,
Mate, can you
my
even believe that?
daughter's made me. Fuck up,
you-
Ted.
No, how can you be in politics as long as him and not understand optics?
Innit?
That blew my mind. Right, well, yep, I'm just off to Mexico. See, it's the worst blizzard ever, and you're my constituents, but I've got the money to go on holiday to a warm
Lovely
place.
warm down here.
Yeah,
Too warm.
Too warm, if anything. Yeah, too bloody warm. What, you need me to come back? What, you need me to come back? Well, I suppose I do want to get re-elected, yeah. I hadn't thought that far ahead. What a fucking prat. What an absolute prat. Meanwhile, AOC, always on camera, she's figured it out. She immediately went down there giving out bottled water, in a white...
bit of cold.
Yeah, in a white suit.
I'm surrounded by frozen water. Why do I need your bottle?
Crying against, fences and that. She's got it. She got it on lockdown. She knows. She knows how to do it.
Mate, if you can't figure out if you need water during a blizzard, you can boil snow. I don't think they can be out. If that hasn't entered your mind, fucking, I'm so thirsty and all I've got is snow everywhere. What am I gonna do? Fucking mate, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, it's a mad one. Right. We're going to end on a upbeat story. It's not really upbeat at all. It's awful, but it's kind of upbeat for this one person. This is shit like this makes me believe in Final Destination, because there was a tragic story a few years back where a Brazilian football team, Chapecoense or something they were called, their team was in a plane crash. They were flying on a chartered plane and there was barely any survivors. There was only 6 survivors off the incident, and obviously, an entire football team lost all its fucking players and all of its staff. So anyway, but one guy did walk away. A guy called Erwin Tamiri. He was one of the 6 survivors, and he got involved into a coach accident, a bus accident in Bolivia that killed 21, and he just walked away again. Just tanked it.
Genau.
Minor injuries. Just walked away. So he survived. He survived a plane accident, right? A plane crash, I should say, not an accident, a crash. Survived a plane crash.
Colombia, mate. Lots of planes flying out of Medellin.
Right? So he I remember hearing a story about a guy like this. This guy was unreal. He'd lived through 2 plane crashes. One where he jumped out of the plane and like landed in a fucking haystack, like in a cartoon.
Like fucking Ezio from
Yeah,
Assassin's Creed,
yeah.
like.
And then like, like his entire life, he'd just fucking been like, you know, he'd been on the Titanic, and it was just some mad fucking story like that. Where it was like everywhere this cunt went, disaster struck, but it just never affected him. You know. It was like some mad thing. Like I'll have to dig that up because it was like bonkers. I remember reading
Just
about it.
brings the terror. He doesn't partake. Like,
Yeah, just like imagine sitting next to a cunt like that on a plane. Ah, fucking hell! Here we go. Like here we go. Yeah, exactly. Like the captains, they're going, and we've got a very special guest here, Mr. Indestructible. Everyone, yeah, Mr. Indestructible. Survived 6 plane crashes. He has.
What's that?
Everyone, round of
Your
applause.
coat stuck in the door. No, don't open it.
Like, fuck this. I'm getting off. See ya. Nice to meet you, Indestructible, but I'm out. Like, fuck me. What a mess. So there you go. I think we've covered everything. I haven't left out any pressing news stories, have I, Sam?
No, I don't think so.
Good.
Ended
Right, well, I did...
nicely, mate. With a guy who
Yeah, I
just
thought
tanks
so.
everything instead of somebody who's just been battered or
Happy, happy for him. Not everyone else, obviously. Yeah. Not all the people who died, which is sad. But for him, good news. So, yes, I'll do the sign off then. I think I forgot to do it last time, but that's how I hate it here is. Yes, so that was the news. We wish it wasn't. We'll see you all next time. Till then, take care.